So it is important for us to know why we all should wash our hands regularly on a regular daily basis. Due to a lot of virus taking over our entire world, how many of us actually know how to wash their hand cleanly like doctors are telling us to? Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. My name is Alia Shafaq binti Zamsari. So for today, I am going to be talking about my topic, which is why everyone should wash their hand regularly. And not only that, I want to persuade every single one of you to do so by the end of this video. So this speech will be distributed into 3 main points. My first point is the reasons why people do not wash their hand on a regular daily basis. Secondly is the impact of not washing your hands regularly. Thirdly, ways to keep your hands clean. So due to the rise of coronavirus, influenza and bacterial disease nowadays, I figured this would be a great topic to share with all of you. So this is the reason why I have chosen this topic specifically. So starting with my main point, it is not a shock that people actually only wash their hand when they are showering or when it is really crucial for them to wash their hand. The reason why people do not wash their hand on a regular basis is because, firstly, they think that it takes a lot of time. So they feel lazy that it takes too much time out of the day. They think that 20 seconds of their time is going to waste if they wash their hands. But according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, it said that singing or humming happy birthday twice from the start to finish is the accurate amount of time for washing your hands. So think about it. To be honest, it is not actually taking up a lot of your time. Secondly, people do not wash their hands regularly because they find easier alternative. So speaking of easier alternative, hand sanitizer is not one of them because hand sanitizer are actually used beneficially and they give benefits for you when it comes to washing your hands. But what I mean by taking alternative or an easier route of washing hand is when people only wipe their hands on their pants, or maybe they wipe it on a tablecloth, or maybe just a tissue, or many more. Do you know that these kind of surfaces are very inefficient for us to clean our hand? So there are 7-step hand washing technique endorsed by the World Health Organization, which are: firstly, you have to wet your hands with clean water. Secondly, you have to apply enough soap to cover all surfaces of your hands and wrist. Thirdly, lather and rub your hands together briskly and thoroughly. You have to make sure to scrub all surfaces of your hands, fingertips and fingernails and wrists. Fourthly, you have to scrub your hands and wrists for at least 20 seconds. Next, you have to rinse your hands and wrists under clean running water. Next, you have to dry your hands and wrists with a clean towel or let them air dry. So the key to washing your hands is to make sure you truly clean all surfaces and areas of your hands, including your fingers and wrists. My third point is the reason why people do not wash their hand regularly is because they have the mindset that as long as their hands look clean, or at least as long as they don't look at their hand being dirty as possible, then they will not wash their hands. So it doesn't matter if it goes on for one day. They could go 1 week without washing their hand as long as they feel like their hands are clean enough, so they won't do it. This mindset is very bad for us because our eyes cannot see the viruses and bacteria or anything that are on our hands, especially when we have been touching a lot of things from morning until night throughout our daily routines, so we do not actually know how clean our hands really are. So by washing your hands properly with soap and water can help prevent the spread of germs that can cause disease such as gastrointestinal infections, influenza, cold and coronavirus. There are times when you should wash your hands thoroughly. After using the toilet, after changing nappies, before, during or after preparing food, between handling raw and cooked or ready to eat food, before you eating, after you sneezing, or before and after attending to sick children or other family members, after you handling rubbish or working in the garden, after you handling your animals, after you pet your animals, when you get home, arrive at other people's home, at venues or at work. So you have to avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth with unwashed hands. If you feel like cough or sneeze is coming on, make sure to cough or sneeze into a tissue and then throw it away and wash your hands. If you do not have a tissue, cough or sneeze into your elbow. It's a part of your body less likely to touch other surfaces and will help stop and spread of nasty germs. So if all those aren't good enough for you to realize that we should be washing our hands on a regular daily basis, let me explain to you the impacts if we do not wash our hands regularly. So the first impact is the first bad side effect do not washing our hands regularly is that we will actually be affecting those with a compromised immune system. So this means our children, babies, the elderly, our friends and family. All these people, if we touch them, for instance, if we touch a baby without washing our hands and our hands are full of germs and or aren't clean and hygienic, then the possibilities of them to get disease such as diarrhea and pneumonia. Pneumonia is a form of acute respiratory infection that affects the lungs. The main causes of pneumonia are from influenza, viruses, and coronavirus. According to the Center Disease Control and Prevention, these two diseases are the leading and the highest disease to cause death among people all around the world. The second impact is that it will cause illnesses to ourselves when we do not wash our hands on a regular daily basis. So for instance, the most recent disease that is currently changing the world, the whole entire world, is the COVID-19. This kind of virus can actually be prevented just by washing our hands. So if we do not do that, the chances to get the COVID-19 are very high or very likely for you to get this kind of disease. Apart from that, you also can get disease such as the hand, foot and mouth and many more. So for the third impact, if when we do not wash our hands on a regular daily basis, it can actually ruin our skin. So it does not matter how expensive your skincare is, if you do not wash your hand before you putting on your skincare and after you have touched phone or your laptop or anything you could think of, and after that you touch your face area, you can actually cause more acne, more breakout, and it can cause a lot of damages and problems to your skin. So those are the impacts if you do not wash your hand regularly on the daily basis. However, there are always ways to avoid these ways from happening, and the most efficient is by always keeping your hands clean. Keeping your hands clean doesn't always or necessarily mean washing your hands regularly. Though washing your hand regularly is very crucial, there are also many other ways that you can think of. As I have mentioned earlier, you have to wash your hand with the right techniques. There are 7 steps on how to wash your hand properly, which, as I mentioned, is wet, by lather, scrub, and rinse and dry. So when you do all these 5 steps, your hands will be as clean as they should be. So next time you go washing your hands, don't just open the tap and put your hands on the water, because that is actually won't be as efficient as washing with the correct techniques. And secondly, you have to use your hand sanitizer. So according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it recommends us to using alcohol-based hand sanitizers that contain at least 60% of alcohol to help you avoid getting sick and spreading germs to others. So if you are going out anywhere, using hand sanitizer can actually benefit you a lot and keeping your hand hygienic. Last but not least, avoid from unnecessary contact with things around you. For example, if possible, if you are in public, please do not touch railings or escalator handles or anything with unclean surface or anything that seems dirty, so that you can avoid viruses and germs that you do not want to be collecting. All in all, washing your hand is very important, that the community and society should be taking this very seriously, because 1% prevent this can help prevent a lot more diseases in the community. So I want to persuade all of you to start washing your hand regularly on daily basis from right now. That is all from me. Thank you.